everybody! Well, tonight's video is my Eve Pearl haul and review video. So originally I was going to do two videos. I was going to do a haul video and show you everything that I purchased, and then I was going to do a review video. But I've actually been using the products over the last few days, so I've decided to do the two together. So the first thing that I want to talk about is actually the packaging. The containers are hard. They have sort of like a mirrored type of front to them, and each item comes in one of these little velvet pouches. So for me, the pouches are really nice. I know Chanel does the same thing, but I also think that they're really a total waste of money. So if you're the type of person that really wants to protect your product, and I'm not really sure why you would want to because this is really made so well, and you don't mind putting it into a container and taking it out every time you use it, then this is really a great idea, but I'm not really crazy about it. It's just annoying to me to have to take it out and put it back in, and it's definitely a really nice design. You can see that she has her initials on the front, as is the Chanel one, but I'm not really crazy about them, and for me they could not put the money into that and take a little bit money off the product. So the first thing that I want to share with you is probably my most favorite item that I got, and it's the lip palette. It's the Ultimate Lip Palette, and I just want to show you the container first. It's very small, it's very thin, and this is like awesome to keep in your bag. I actually think this would be great for people who are still looking for stocking stuffers. This would be great to give out as gift colors. And what I'm actually wearing today is a Holiday Affair, which is this one right here. And then over it I put Stardust, which is down here. So this is sort of like a reddish color, and then this is a little bit gold right over it. And what I love about this is that you can keep this in your bag, and then throughout the day if you want to change the look of your lip color, you can. Let's say you're going out to lunch and then you get invited somewhere for dinner and you want to put something on a little bit stronger on your lips. It's all here just in this one little palette. This was definitely my favorite purchase of all of the items that I bought. So the next item that I got is her priming moisturizer, and it has a special ingredient in it that I'll put down here because I'm not going to try to pronounce it. And what it says on the website is that it's nourishing, it's full of antioxidants, and that it has a natural sunblock in it. And I think perhaps that's what this ingredient does. And they say that it's equivalent to an SPF 20. So it was a really nice moisturizer. It was a really nice primer. I did like it quite a bit. I have to say that I like my Sue Devitt much better, especially since it has an SPF of 30. And for me, I'm a little bit leery about the equivalent to an SPF 20. I'm not really sure what that means, that what they put in it is equal to an SPF 20 or it's similar to an SPF 20. I'm not 100% sure, and I actually was going to email the company to ask, because I like my SPFs to be SPFs. I like it to say SPF 20, SPF 30, or whatever it's going to say in the product, because you know me, I'm very particular about getting sufficient SPF in my products. So overall, I did like it an awful lot. If you're looking for a nice natural priming moisturizer, this is definitely something that you should try. What I would suggest perhaps that if you can call a company and get a sample of it, that would be great, so you can test it out on your own skin. I had no issues whatsoever. There are no breakouts from it at all. So I did like it, but it definitely would not become my HG primer. The next thing that I got is the famous dual concealer, salmon concealer, and I got mine in the light medium, and that's the color. And what I'm going to do is take pictures of all of the products and put them at the end so that hopefully you can get a little bit truer reading of what the colors are. So for me, this was definitely a very nice concealer. I'm not sure if Eve Pearl is the one that started it and that's why she's so famous for the salmon color, but you know that there are a lot of other concealers out there. Yves Saint Laurent makes one that has the salmon coloring in it, and the salmon coloring really is good if you do have dark circles. Now, I don't have as dark circles under my eyes, so I don't use as much concealer. I do it just a little bit generally, but I tend to use mostly my foundation under my eyes. I find that that works fine for me. And so for me, this was sort of overkill because it has the two colors. I probably would have rather just gotten just the lighter side and had that, and then used it under what my normal foundation would be. So the dark side was a little bit dark for me. It was definitely a little bit too orangey for me. So if you're my coloring, I would see if perhaps, I don't know if she sells it separately, but I would definitely go with the lighter side over the medium side. The next thing that I got is the eye palette, and I bought it in the Au Naturel, and those are the colors. Now this is definitely a natural palette, but for me, when I think of a natural palette, I think of more muted colors. I think of definitely the browns and the beige or cream colors, even if you go into the grays, but I definitely usually think of more natural being really more muted. And the top 3 colors on this palette, now they'll be on the bottom when I hold them up because I don't want the mirror to shine in your face, has quite a bit of glitter in it. And the other thing is, I don't know if you can see, but this color right here is very, very yellow, and it actually comes out very yellow on my skin. So it has a lot of sparkle and it's very yellow. So those are 2 things I generally don't like to do on my eye. I definitely like the sparkle. As you can see, I'm wearing it again as a liner, so I like sparkle as an eyeliner, but I don't like it on my lid. I don't like the way that it looks, and I definitely really am not crazy about the yellow tones. And the other thing is that the middle color in the darker colors, I don't know if you can see, is very ruddy. There's a lot of red in the color, which is also a very hard color to wear. Now, they do blend in really nicely. They do wear really well. I wore it pretty much the whole day, didn't have any issue with them. There is quite a bit of fallout for them, though, I will tell you that. Not only as you're applying it, but there was a lot of powder that was actually in the palette every time I used it, and I actually had to clean the palette. So overall, it's a nice eyeshadow. It's definitely not one of my favorite eyeshadows. Bobbi Brown wins hands down over this, so this was also not a very big winner for me. The next thing I got is the blush trio, and I actually sent them a link to one of my videos because they suggested to send a picture, so I sent a link to a video instead. So they picked these colors out for me based on watching the video, and I was a little bit surprised that they suggested that I get the Sassy Cheeks, the medium color, and these are the colors. These happen to be very dark for me. Now, I like my skin tone to be lighter looking. I'm not really, you know that I don't sit in the sun and tan myself. I don't do any of the faux tanning because I work so hard at keeping my skin sort of even looking. So this was very, very dark for me. And not only that, but the peach color is really very, very orange. It really was way too dark for my skin. So if you have similar skin color to me, I definitely would try one of the lighter ones. The concept of the 3 is great. What she suggests is that you take a fan brush and you go lightly over all 3 of them all at once, and then, you know, apply it into your blush area, your contour area, whatever you want. And of course you can use the colors individually, but you know, it was a really nice product. I think I would have been a lot happier if I had the lighter color. And of course, unfortunately, because I purchased this through her sale, it's not refundable. I can't return them, so I'm pretty much stuck with using this, and I'll probably just end up giving it away. So the last 2 items are unfortunately my biggest disappointment. I was really hoping that this was going to work really well. I have heard so many good things about her foundations. I loved watching all of her tutorials, which is really a great thing about her products, is that she does so many YouTube tutorials. So I actually went in while I was waiting for the order to arrive, and I watched a whole bunch of them so I could see her technique. I could see the different applications that she did on different people, so I could try it on myself when it arrived. But they just did not work for me. I'll start with the foundation, and I got it in the light. Now, you know, Eve's method is to do 2 tones and sort of reverse contouring, and what she recommends is that the lighter goes down here on the bottom, the darker in the middle, sort of to eliminate the redness, highlighting more across that way. So that is a great way to put on your foundation if you want to bother with 2 different colors. Of course, it's definitely great to have the lighter color on the bottom so that you match into your neck color and you don't get a demarcation between your face and your neck. But the light color was the light was fine for me, but the combination with the dark was way too dark for me. Actually, the dark was way too orange for me, and I know that Gina said the same thing, that it really pulled. Now, it's showing really orange on the camera. It's not as orange in person, but it was not only way too dark for me, but it was way too orangey for me. I was really surprised by that. So I ended up, which she also suggests, is I took the lighter color and I sort of put it over it and I worked it in together, but it was a lot of work for me when there are a million other foundations that I have that I can pretty much just slap on my face, buff it in, and go, and it really works well. This I really had to work at. So one of the main issues for me was in putting the dark, that much dark on this part of my face. I like my skin light, as I said before. I really work hard to keep it one tone. I don't mind contouring a bit or doing blush, but I like the light look. I like the highlighted look of my skin. I just think that it looks better on me than trying to darken up. That's one of the reasons, I mean, besides the health issues, but that's another reason why I don't bother doing any kind of faux tanning. I like the lightness of my skin. So putting the darkness on really didn't do it for me. And the other thing is that I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if it's because of how she has this protective little cover on everything that this causes it, it, but this foundation, every time I opened it, and I'm not sure that it's going to show that to you now, it was sort of sweating. It was moist underneath. And that's pretty much what it looked like on my skin. This was definitely the greasiest look foundation that I've ever had on my skin, no matter what I tried to do with it. I just couldn't, and I went a lighter application, heavier application. I tried different powders, not only her powder, but I found that after a while I really had quite a greasy look to my skin. And I think Karen, Miss Sparkle Arkle, who is in Australia and it's still warm there, tweeted that she had the same reaction, that she's actually putting it away and going to try it again in the winter months. Well, it's winter months here, and it's definitely dry enough here that there shouldn't have been an issue. So this just really didn't make it for me. But of course, again, because I bought it on the sale, I can't return it or exchange it for any other kind of product. So what I did, and for those of you that have tried it and are having similar issues with it, and I know there are quite a few people because I've had a few emails from people that are sort of wondering if I was having the same issues, what I found worked the best if you're going to try to work with this foundation is that I went in and I used my Sigma SS197, which I think is now the F80. And I actually went and really worked the foundation in first before I did the sponge method that Eve recommends. So I actually put it on with my hands. Then I took this and I really worked it into my skin. And then I took the sponge and wet the sponge down and then smoothed it over. And it definitely gave me a really nice application. So perhaps for some of you that maybe it isn't as greasy with, if you try it that way, I think that maybe you'll like the finish of it a little bit better. And then, of course, the last product was the high definition powder. It's the two colors. So what I did is I used this lighter color and I used it all over my skin, and then I took the darker color and I used it just for light contouring. So it's actually a very pretty color to use as a contour color because I like lighter colors. I don't like my contour to be too dark. I actually had this conversation the other day with a makeup artist in Neiman Marcus. We were talking about contouring and different bronzes, and he said that he uses the same bronze all year long, and I basically do also because I like the effect of contouring my face, but I don't really want that bronzy sort of suntan sort of look. So this actually is a really, really nice color. So I'll probably not use the powder, but I definitely use the darker side of it and probably will use that to do contouring. So overall, I have to say that I liked a lot of her products. I didn't love all of her products. I absolutely love the lip palette, and I definitely recommend that. I guess I'm going to turn it around to all of you guys out there, people that bought the products, and ask you what you thought. What did you buy? How did you feel about it? Are you having the same issues with it that I am? For anybody out there that uses the foundation on a regular basis and is really crazy about it, I definitely want to hear from you. I'd love to know how you apply it. Maybe give me some tips on something different that I could do that I like it better. And leave me a comment, send me a personal message, or actually leave me a video response would be great also. So that's it, everybody. I hope you're having a great weekend. Still no snow here. Come on, you guys in Canada. Give me a break. Send some of that white stuff down to us. We could really use it. Okay, everybody. Have a great weekend. Speak to you soon. Take care.